Okay, so you probably heard this before. Just post on Instagram to get your sleep coaching clients. And maybe you believed it at first. So you started posting and still crickets. The thing is, Instagram is not a business strategy. And if you're relying on it alone to build a full-time sleep coaching business, well, you are going to burn out fast. Because if you don't have a real marketing system working behind the scenes, one that brings in the right people, builds trust with those people, and then turns those followers into paying clients, then you're always going to feel like you're throwing spaghetti at the wall. And that, my friends, is exactly what this video is here to fix. Because today I'm going to walk you through 6 real strategies that actually bring in clients without spending all day online. And take it from one of our grads, Emily. She had been struggling to get traction. She had implemented what I'm going to be teaching you today. And now, well, she is fully booked. No gimmicks, no magic funnel, just the right strategy for her stage of business. And if you want support putting all of this into place, then click the link below and book your free strategy call with us. We're really here to help you. And what we can do is review where you are right now, where you want to get to, and map out a simple plan to grow a thriving, holistic sleep coaching business. Now, before we get into the step-by-step, let me show you how this all fits together. And this is what I call the sleep coach growth quadrant. It's simple, but it is so powerful. So let me show you what I mean right here. So on one side, you have inbound versus outbound. So a client's coming to you, or are you going to them? Now, on the other side, we have high leverage versus low leverage activities. So high leverage means long-term scalable strategies, while low leverage involves short-term resources like heavy tactics. So think paid ads or, a sales promotion. So let's break this down a little bit more. So quadrant 1, high leverage, and it's inbound. So this is where clients come to you while you sleep. So think blogging, SEO, lead magnets, evergreen content. Quadrant 2, low leverage, and it's also inbound. So this is where most coaches spend a lot of their time. Instagram, putting out daily content because it builds trust, but if you stop posting, the inquiries often slow down. Quadrant 3, high leverage and outbound. So here we're talking about partnerships, referrals, collaborations. And then quadrant 4, low leverage, and it's outbound as well. So this is visibility work. So podcasting, teaching in other people's communities, workshops. And it's more manual, but it gets you in front of audiences who don't know you yet. And when you bring these things together, things get so much easier in your business because you're showing up with purpose and people start noticing. Okay, so now that you've seen the big picture, let's break down 6 marketing strategies that actually get clients inside each of these quadrants, even if you're starting out. So let's start with something that might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but it is so important today. And that's that most sleep coaches aren't really marketing. They're waiting. They're posting content, crossing their fingers and hoping someone stumbles across them and magically thinks like, yes, this is the person that I've been searching for. But that's not how it works, especially when you're starting out. Like, you don't have time to just sit back and hope the algorithm picks you up. So instead of waiting for people to find you, you need to go where people are already searching for help. And that's what this strategy is all about. And this one sits in the quadrant 4, so low leverage and outbound, which just means it takes a little bit of effort and it's not automated. You are doing the outreach. So you're showing up in spaces and you're starting conversations. It's not something that scales. So of course, the big question here is, where are all these parents looking for support online? Where am I going to find them? And it may or may not be a surprise, but Facebook is still one of the best places to do this. And I know what you're thinking. Is anyone even still on Facebook? Didn't everyone move to Instagram about 5 years ago? But the reality here is that Facebook still has over 3 billion monthly active users. Let that sit. That's a huge number, and a huge chunk of that are parents. So as you can see here, just typing in parenting groups, you're going to find a huge number of groups. It's where they go at 2 a.m. when their babies aren't sleeping, and they're typing in things like, my baby's waking up every 45 minutes. What do I do? Any sleep coach recommendations, or like, help, I'm losing it. And when you're in the room with those conversations, that's your chance to show up, not to pitch, but to actually help. So the first step is to find the groups where your ideal clients already hang out. And what you want to do is you want to join those groups. Now, the next thing is you don't want to just drop a booking link on someone's comment and say like, I can help. That's not helping. That's hustling. Instead, just show up like a normal human who gets it. So let's say someone posts, "My 7-month-old still wakes up 4 times a night, help." You might respond with a comment like this, like, "Hey Isabel, that sounds so exhausting. I've supported lots of parents in this stage, and sometimes it helps to look at," and then you leave the valuable comment. And then you might say something like, "I provided more info on this topic," and then you could drop a link to a blog or a social media post. Now, why this works is because you're showing up with real insight. You're giving value without pitching, and you've just planted a seed, and now they can see you as someone who can help. Now, if they reply and engage, that's your cue to gently move into their DMs. And what you can do is follow a simple strategy that I teach within the Holistic Sleep Coaching Program. It's a DM strategy. Now, what you want to do is keep the conversation going and hook them in. So what you could say here is something like, "Hey, Isabel, just following on from your comment in whatever the group name was. I hope that tip I shared was helpful. I thought this resource might be helpful too. It's something I'd normally share with clients when they're navigating," and then you state the problem. Maybe that's night waking. And then also, "It's so brave that you're tackling this head on when juggling everything else. You're doing such an amazing job." So you want to empathize with their situation. So next up, what you want to do is ask a question. So you keep the conversation going and you hook them in. So you could say something like, "How are things going with nights overall right now?" And actually, this reminds me of another parent that I work with who was in a very similar spot. And she was feeling like nothing was working. But actually, with a few small tweaks by the end of the week, and then you're going to state what the outcome is. And maybe that's the baby was waking up now once a night instead of 5 times a night. And then you want to say, "Would it be helpful if I shared more about how we did it? And if you'd be open to it, I'd be happy to hop on a quick call and chat through your steps." No pressure at all. Now, if they're interested, don't just leave it hanging. Actually state a date. So you could say something like, "I've got space on Thursday at 11 a.m. or Friday afternoon. Would either of those dates work for you for a quick call?" Now, if they ghost you, which some will, that's just the joys of being in business, you want to follow up with more value. Just no pressure, just value. So you could say something like, "Just popping back in to share this quick win from another parent with a similar issue. Thought it might help. Still happy to chat if that would be useful. No stress either way." Now, this is an effective strategy because now they're not just another lead, they've experienced your support. You've earned trust before you've ever made an offer. You didn't sell, you helped. And now they're far more likely to say yes when you do offer a call. And this works because it's just naturally shifting a conversation on. All right, so let's talk about the platform everyone obsesses over, and that is Instagram. So if you want to turn followers into actual clients, you need to show up like the specialist your ideal client has been quietly waiting to find. And this isn't just about pumping out endless sleep tips. No, my friends, you are not a baby sleep quote machine. You're a guide. And the content that actually converts, it's the stuff that builds trust. It shows results and it makes people feel seen. So instead of saying something like 5 tips for better baby sleep, which everyone else is doing, what you want to do is you want to try posting content that deeply connects you with your ideal client. Something like, "I remember crying in the dark at 2 a.m. wondering if my baby would ever sleep." If that's you right now, I see you. There's a way through. And then you carry on from there. Or educational content. "Is your baby waking up every hour? The first thing I check is X. Here's why that makes such a difference." So can you see there's a real shift from being general to being very specific? Now, you can also look at thought reversal content where you address a belief you know your ideal client might have that's not serving them. So something like, "Night wakings aren't always bad. Here's what they could actually be telling you." So I'm creating curiosity there, but I'm also addressing a key opinion that they may have that's not serving them. And of course, don't forget that people need to be reminded. People are busy, they're tired, and they're not walking around wondering how to hire a sleep coach. So every once in a while, you want to reintroduce yourself. So who are you? Who do you help? And what is the transformation that you offer? So you want to get clear on that, and then you want to communicate it. Okay, so if you're using Instagram, stories are a great place to connect with people and build a relationship. For example, let's say a parent replies to your story and they say, "Oh my God, this is exactly what we're going through." So what you want to do here is like their comment, send them a quick helpful reply like, "I hear you. I actually made a checklist that helped pinpoint why night waking happens." Well, want me to send it over. And now you're having a conversation. You're offering value. You're showing up like someone who genuinely wants to help. And from there, well, you can use the DM framework again that I spoke about earlier. And the thing is, you don't need 10,000 followers. You just need the right 10 people watching your stories and one of them to say like, okay, I'm in. All right, so let's talk about referrals, because this is where things start to get really exciting. And if you remember the quadrant from earlier, this one's high leverage and it's outbound, meaning yes, you've got to do a little bit of outreach. That's the outreach part. But the high leverage comes from the fact that when it works, it keeps working. And one good connection can send you clients for months or even years. So you're not having to start from zero every time. You're building a real relationship that brings clients to you on repeat. And think about the last time someone said like, hey, my friend worked with you and said you changed their life. Like, can we talk? Like, there's no convincing, there's no selling, just trust that's already been transferred to you. Now imagine that coming not just from one client once in a blue moon, but from a doula, a lactation consultant, a baby group facilitator, a parenting coach, all of these people regularly sending families your way. And that's what we're building, a referral pipeline. And it's one of the fastest, most reliable ways to grow your business, because here's the thing, referrals convert way higher than anything else when it comes to marketing, often like 80 to 90%. And you don't need to start out cold. Before you start reaching out to strangers, think about this. Who already knows and trusts you? Who do you know that works with families or know someone who does? And even if it feels a little bit of a stretch, ask anyway. So you might say something like, hey, I'm building up my sleep coaching business. I'm looking to support more families. Do you know anyone who might need help, or anyone in your network who works with new parents? And this isn't about pitching. It's about inviting people into what you're building. And honestly, most people want to help. They just need to know how. And we've had grads who started just by telling their antenatal group, by the way, I'm now doing sleep coaching if anyone ever needs support. And within weeks, they've had their first paying clients. So before you go Googling for new contacts, look at your own network. People know people, and let them help you. And then when you've done that, you want to look beyond your immediate network and start identifying people who already work with your ideal clients. So that might be doulas or lactation consultants, postnatal yoga teachers, baby group leaders, postnatal fitness coaches, perinatal therapists, online community hosts. There are so many professionals out there that you can reach out to. And these professionals are having daily conversations with exhausted parents who are struggling with sleep. And most of them aren't solving that problem. So they're more than happy to refer to someone that they trust. So you just need to be the person that they're thinking of. And if you're not sure where to start, use this prompt in ChatGPT. You could say, give me a list of professionals in whatever location it is that are likely to work with new parents or parents with toddlers or whoever you want to work with, and then say, include Instagram handles and websites. And that's going to give you a list in seconds. And then you can vet those people on Instagram, on Facebook, or on Google, and you can go from there. Now, next up, you want to reach out to people. And this isn't a cold pitch. It's a hello. There is a huge difference. You might say, hey, Jessica, I love the work that you're doing with, and whoever their audience is, especially, and you want to be specific here. So you want to state how they work with their families, and then you want to introduce yourself. So I support families with sleep, and I know that's something that comes up for a lot of new parents. I'd love to connect and see if there's a way I could provide value to your current clients. No pressure, just thought I'd reach out. So you're not asking for anything up front. You're starting a conversation and you're offering to give value to their audience. And so the risk here for them is incredibly low. Now, once they respond, don't immediately pitch anything. Ask good questions. So that might be, what kind of sleep issues do you hear from parents? Do you have anyone you usually refer to for sleep support? Would it help if I put together a short checklist or guide that you could share with your clients? Or could I run a free online workshop for your candidates regarding sleep? And that's how you become helpful, through asking questions. And once they see that you're thoughtful and you're knowledgeable, they're going to start referring people naturally because they trust you. And in fact, one of our grads, Nina, recently reached out to a local baby massage group, and she offered to run a free Q&A session for that group. And we hit it off. And Nina answered all of the questions, And she just left it at that. And 2 days later, that practitioner referred 2 parents to her who weren't even in that group. They were previous clients and they were referred without even being asked. And that's because the trust was already there. And that's the magic of being generous first. Now, you can make it more official by offering a simple referral program where you pay them commission for anyone that they send your way. And I found that sometimes this is expected, especially if you don't know the person well or they're doing work to refer people to you. And just in case you were thinking you don't want to give away your hard-earned money, think about the cost of acquiring a customer on your own. It's likely to be a lot more than a small referral fee. And if that person then refers their friends, now there's no cost. So to recap, start with people that you already know. Your network is more powerful than you think. You want to identify 5 to 10 partners who serve your ideal clients, reach out to them with a warm, helpful message and build the relationship from there. All right, so strategy number 4 is all about getting in front of new people by showing up where your ideal clients already are. And we call this quadrant 4 low leverage and outbound. And let me quickly explain why it fits here. It's low leverage because you're trading your time for visibility and you have to physically show up wherever that's running a workshop, doing a live session or being interviewed. And it's outbound because you're the one initiating the connection. You're reaching out to other communities or businesses and you're asking to collaborate. So while it's not something that runs on autopilot, it can be a really effective way to build trust quickly, especially early in your business. And you don't need a big following or loads of content to do this. What you need is a clear idea of who you help and a way to talk about the problem that you solve and a willingness to speak up and serve. And here are the 3 ways that you can do that, which I've used and I still do, and many of our grads use it too. So 1, get featured on podcasts. Like one of the simplest ways to build trust at scale is by being interviewed on someone else's podcast. Like you don't need a fancy pitch. You just need to find people who are already serving your audience. So think parenting or postnatal care or gentle sleep and just reach out to those podcast owners. And how it works is that you share value and they share your story, and it helps people hear your voice and understand your approach and start trusting you before they ever find you on Instagram. And once it's published, it keeps working in the background. So people binge podcasts, and when they hear you say something that hits home, that's the moment they go looking for your name. So next up, guest teach in other people's communities. And there are hundreds of online spaces, Facebook groups, membership programs, parenting circles that already have the people you want to help there. And most of them are run by people who want to bring in more support for their members. And so when you reach out to them and you offer something highly valuable with no pressure, it's going to stand out. And this works best when it's specific. So show them exactly what you could help with and keep it low pressure. And of course, keep it low pressure for them, high value for their community. And after the live session, the parents who connected with what you said, well, they're likely to come to you. All right, number 3, offer free workshops for parenting facing business. So if you want to get in front of people fast, this works. So think about where your ideal clients are already showing up offline or online. It could be postnatal yoga classes, baby massage or music groups, doulas or lactation consultants who are running group support, or even companies with HR-led return to work sessions for their parents. So you reach out to the person running it and you offer to run a free session for their group. There's no big ask here. You're not asking them to promote you. You're offering to support their community, which makes you an asset to them. And it doesn't take much to see results. Like one Facebook group session, you're in front of, 30 parents. One workshop, maybe that's 20 families. One podcast, well, that's hundreds of people that could see that, or even thousands that could hear you. And this works not because it's flashy, but because it's personal. So you're showing up as a real human and you're saying, here's what I want to do. Here's how I can help. And when people feel seen by you, they're far more likely to reach out. And you're not building a machine here. You're building trust. This isn't about reach. It's about resonating with people. So you want to go where people already gathered, show up, be useful, and be specific, because one honest conversation where a parent feels like you get it can do more than a month's worth of content. All right, so strategy number 5 is one I really love, because this one doesn't really rely on you being online all of the time. And when it's set up properly, it keeps working in the background, bringing new people in, building trust and starting conversations, all without having to manually post or reply to things every 5 minutes. So this is quadrant 1, high leverage and inbound. And that means you create it once, it attracts the right people, and it keeps working while you're doing other things. So what is it? It's your lead magnet. Now, a lead magnet is a complete solution to a narrow problem. It's the free thing that you give away before people invest in your paid service, so you get more people to buy what you do. And I'm going to share some examples in just a moment, but here's how your lead magnet brings in more clients. So when you go out there and you're not very well known at the beginning and you promote your core service, your sleep coaching service, sometimes that isn't enough. People don't trust you yet because they don't know you yet. And sometimes people want to know more about your service before they buy. And this is very common for businesses that sell things that require an investment. So your lead magnet becomes the thing that provides a complete solution to a narrow problem. So as a sleep consultant, your lead magnet might address the problem around, let's say, split nights or early rising. And when you create your lead magnet the right way, you bring in leads into your business. You solve the small problem, and then you build a relationship with those people through your emails, and you highlight other problems and bigger problems that you can help with through your paid service. And a proportion of those people will then become clients because they trust you. Everything we've just said about lead magnets, remember one thing. The goal is to demonstrate as much value as possible in the shortest amount of time. And you want this to be something that they would actually pay for. So an example of freebies I've put together for our holistic program is a 4-day holistic sleep revolution event, which is now evergreen, but we used to do this live twice a year. Webinars, guides, case studies, checklists. The focus is on solving a narrow problem. Now, to round up, you can see how powerful freebies are in the comments that we have here. People saying that they can now trust themselves, that this has helped them, that they feel more confident, this is powerful and a strategy that they're now going to consider. And here's what's beautiful about this. The whole process can be automated. So while you're with your kids or out on a walk or even asleep, that email is landing in someone's inbox. They're reading your tips, they're nodding along, and they're thinking, okay, this actually makes sense. I feel like she gets it. And that is what starts building real trust before you even get on a call with that person. Now, once someone's downloaded your lead magnet, once they've had that first win, even something small, what do they need next? Proof. Because here's the thing, even after someone gets value from you, even after they think, okay, this person knows what they're talking about, there's still a voice in their head going, but will this actually work for me? And that's where our final strategy comes in, and that's social proof. And nothing beats a real parent saying, I didn't think anything would help. I was exhausted, I was defeated, and then we worked together. And now my child has gone from waking up 6 times a night to once a night, whatever it is, and I feel like myself again. And I have energy, and I'm enjoying parenting again. Like, those kind of words are so powerful. And that's when someone watching leans in and they think, that's me, that's where we are, and maybe this could work for us too. You're showing them what's possible, because at the end of the day, people don't buy coaching, they buy transformations, they buy certainty. Now, the question you might be asking yourself now is, well, how do I ask for testimonials from my clients? So let's get into that. And don't worry, you don't need to be weird about this. You're not asking them to say sugary nice things about you. You're giving them, a client who work with you, a chance to reflect on their own growth. So you can simply ask them this. You could say, hey, Jessica, I'm so thrilled about the progress that you're making. This is huge. Would you be open to sharing a few words about what life felt like before working with me and what's changed and how things feel now? No pressure at all, but it could really help other parents who are feeling just like you were. And that's it. Simple, genuine. And they're usually going to say yes. And if they're up for it, you're going to ask for a video. Not polished, not scripted, just them on their phone saying, this was us. This is how we felt, and this is what changed. Okay, so when it comes to using these testimonials, you want to use them on your website, on your booking page. You want to do it inside your emails. You also want to share it in your lead magnet itself. And of course, on social media. And when is the best time to ask for a testimonial? I hear you ask. And this bit is huge. And honestly, it's where most coaches get it wrong. They wait until the end of a package thinking, I'm going to ask once everything's wrapped up. But by then, life has moved on. So the best time to ask is when the results are starting to land and the parent is feeling the change in real time. So that could be the first night their baby sleeps 5 hours. The moment they say, I feel like myself again, that's when you ask. And you'll find that you'll get way more feedback at that point. So in a nutshell, proof builds trust creates conversions, and testimonials are your shortcut to success. Okay, folks, so we have covered a lot today. Strategy 1, go to where the demand already exists, like Facebook groups at 3 a.m. Strategy 2, we looked at how to turn Instagram followers into clients. Strategy 3, you want to build a referral pipeline through creating relationships with professionals who are already talking to your ideal clients. Strategy 4, you need to get in front of other people's audiences. Think podcasts, guest training, local workshops. Strategy 5, lead magnets, where you give parents a quick win, you earn their trust and guide them gently into a deeper relationship. And then finally, strategy 6, social proof, the marketing muscle in your business. Let your clients do the talking. People buy results. I can't stress that enough. Now, here's the thing. You could take this video, you could close the tab, you could think, yeah, that was helpful, or you could just take one step. Just one, because clarity comes from action, not before it. So whether that's creating your first lead magnet or DMing a local doula to start a referral conversation or finally booking that call you've been meaning to, let this be the moment that you decide to build your business with intention. And let me know in the comments, what is the one thing that you are going to take action on? I would love to hear it. And if you want more support with this, as well as how to attract the right clients and build a thriving holistic sleep coaching business, then all you need to do is click the link below this video to book a call with us. Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.